in my state, in Michigan, we've had $300 million cut from our schools in the mental health programs. And I really worry about what are the consequences going to be.
Right.
What I'm noticing is everyone is more stressed right now, no matter what side you're on. Everyone is more stressed. There's so much more uncertainty out there. And humans are really manage stress well when it's this short stress. We're able to manage that pretty well. But when we have this long-term stress and what we call an allostatic load, allostatic means that we have these multiple layers of stress and it's chronic and it's lasting for a long time. And that can lead to, exhaustion, anxiety, fatigue, and that's not good for us. So that's one area that I try to talk a lot about in my videos is how to manage that, that allostatic stress load, that long-term stress. And hopefully my videos help to lighten that load a little bit.
Yeah, I worry too about some of this, maybe the flywheel effect of some of these things, because we know that there's issues potentially with violence in schools, and we say, well, then we need to do more mental health awareness so that we don't have violence in schools. But then money is often taken away from mental health before anything else, and then how do we fulfill that? How do you help the mental health issues when you take the funding away from the mental health issues? So it's always the concern, and I think that it's important, and why we push, say, at NOCD, to make sure that insurance covers OCD treatment, right? Because we want to be sure that there's accessibility. If there's anything that we've talked about, and I'm sure you've seen this, Paige, too, at conferences, up until the teletherapy revolution, it was how do we disseminate evidence-based treatments to people?
Yes.
And now what you've done, what we're doing, is really working on making that happen. How do we actually get evidence-based treatments out to the people who need them? And I hope that we continue to push that forward and make sure that people get the help that they need and don't have to sit and suffer.
Yes, Patrick, that just brings up such a great point. How far we've come in OCD treatment. When I first began as a therapist, and I'm going a couple decades back, we had almost nothing to offer people with OCD. And isn't it amazing that we now have a couple of decades of all of this research, and we know what really helps people with OCD, and we know what doesn't help people with OCD, and we're getting better and better at that. So that is so exciting in our field, like just how far we've come. And like you said, the way that we're offering all of that information now in so many different avenues, and that's really encouraging. Yeah.
Yes. And that does mean to everyone, just public service announcement, stop being cruel to rubber bands and snapping them on your wrist, everyone. if that's been suggested to you, please just take the rubber band off. That is not a way to punish yourself out of
my
OCD
gosh.
and
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
But there are still, our CEO, Stephen Smith, had a therapist tell him to do that, right?
I can remember, like when I haven't thought about that in years, but I can remember that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I've started an anti-cruelty to rubber band campaign so that we stop doing those types of things. But it is good to see where we are. But you are correct too that the field is so young. We're only a few hundred years from when we thought all mental health issues were demonic possession and we were cutting holes in people's skulls to let the demons out, right?
Oh,
that was just a few hundred years ago. So
yeah.
we have definitely in the last 50 or so years seen just exponential improvements
Yes.
in the work that we've done for mental health in general, and in the last 30 years for OCD specifically, the incredible amount of work that's been done.
Yeah.